Hi, I'm John, and I'm sitting in a big hand. Today, we're going to talk about big time. I did a bunch of analog stuff in this pedal, and now I'm here to walk you through the various factory presets that we've set up for you. Big Time has 10 factory presets, each one designed to serve as a jumping off point for deeper exploration within the pedal. So what I'm gonna do is step through these individually, and then I'll show you some of the cool tangents that I find along the way. So here I am in preset 0. This represents kind of just a nice sounding basic delay. One of the most important things that we wanted to convey right from the beginning, and it's why we put this in preset 0, is that this delay sounds good because of all the analog circuitry contained within. And pushing color up is going to engage all that analog circuitry. It gives you some action from the preamp, it gives you some action from the feedback compression, limiting, saturation. One of my favorite things to do when starting from this basic delay is to hear what the clipping and limiting and sort of bias sag circuitry within this pedal are capable of. So as this is evolving, I'm going to change states and I'm going to adjust the texture control, which is going to change the behavior of the different compression and limiting states. As we step into preset 1, we enter a new part of Big Time, which is the modulation mode. In mod mode, the delay times are very short to give you things like chorus and flange and double tracking and weirder stuff besides. There are so many different ways to voice modulation effects within Big Time, and using preset 1 as a jumping off point is a great way to explore all those interactions. One of my favorite things to do in mod delay is what I call the Dark Souls hallway echo, which is really, really short delay, not all the way into like, what we consider a delay effect, but it's more than a slapback, like this sort of thing. And mod mode has a couple of unique foot switch gestures, and one of them, if you hold down bypass, is that it maxes out color and feedback to really lean into what happens when you engage the limiter and let the feedback run wild. So let's hear that. It's pretty fun. Now let's step into preset number 2. This one is one of my favorites because it leans into the unique capabilities of Big Time as something closer to a dirt pedal, honestly. This is like a big burly expander that uses some of the short delay times and the color preamp and the saturated state mode in order to just let you dig in and rock a little bit. And it just rocks. It's a lot of fun. This preset is also a great opportunity to audition what state is doing. And we have the mysterious up mode, which is the purple setting on state here. And this one can eat your loops alive. So it's nice to hear what it's doing to just a straight guitar sound here. So I'm going to kill off the dry signal altogether. And when I dig in, the bias circuit is going to sag out and create these blooming note attacks. And this is really fun on its own, but I think it's really special when you're using loops and using feedback to slowly evolve the loop over time. So, but this is just a taste of what this mode is capable of. As we step into preset 3, we now go back into a more normal delay sound. Here we're in short mode, and we're in the blue state, which is compressed mode. This is going to let us explore some possibilities for ducking delay by making use of the VCA limiters that are located within the feedback loop. What I really like about this mode is that you can get a sort of buffer replacement, where when you add new material, it fully replaces what was there before. And that's the beauty of having the compressor placed where it is in the delay line. These are the kinds of sounds we used to only be able to get by taking some old pieces of rack gear and throwing the compressor way out of calibration. So to have them on demand in big time is it's very special. Preset 4 is like meeting an old friend, and let me show you why. I just think this preset is a lovely example of how the combination of the analog filter voicing and the color preamp and the saturated state mode all combine to create something that really breaks that barrier between analog and digital delay. This feels as good as any BBD delay that I've ever used. And if you want to really lean into some more aliasing, kind of like what reminds you of an old Bucket Brigade delay, then you can go into the Alt menu and kick on 0.5x mode, which is going to downsample the pedal by 50% and give you even more of that character. If you find that your loop is eating itself alive, which to be fair, I did on purpose by turning up texture, you can always freeze whatever it is you're doing by holding down bypass. And that is going to bypass the analog feedback loop and keep whatever it is you recorded in the buffer playing back forever. So if you get something right at the cusp of that sort of destructive analog quality, you can live in it for a while, which is pretty fun. When you have the square wave motion set up and it's quantized, going into ping pong mode is going to open up some special possibilities. Instead of just one pitch going up and down, you actually trade off between the left and right sides as you go. It sounds really, really beautiful. That kind of stuff is like peak big time to me, I think. Like once you get into, when you're playing the whole pedal at once, you're in pitch sequencing, you have cluster going, you can smear out a loop with diffusion, you can use texture to sort of burn holes in the loop periodically. It feels very cohesive despite all of the disparate bits and pieces that make this thing up. And it's easy to get lost in. All right, well, the reverie is over. As we step into preset 5, we are back into noisy weirdo world. This is a preset that is like a broken dynamic flanger sound. What are we doing here? We're using the envelope motion in combination with the envelope controlled bias to really just destroy your sound in a way that is dynamic. So yeah, this one has a lot to say, and there are a lot of directions you can take it. I think by virtue of this more extreme example, it invites you to do a few things. One is to simply pull the feedback back. And you can hear what the envelope modulation is doing on your attack and tugging your pitch information all kinds of strange ways. You also can just slam color. It's another way of this thing just secretly being a dirt pedal too, which is pretty awesome. If we pull the feedback down and dial in a more subtle envelope setting, you get this really nice kind of playful, rubber bandy, automatic vibrato that it responds to your playing, but it's very warbly, and so it feels like there's an element of randomness too. It's like you're unspooling tape by digging in. One other thing I'll say about the shorter side of modulation on big time, the delay time can go very, very short. It can go down to about 3 milliseconds, which means that you can achieve a lot of these modulation sounds with a minimum of latency. So lots of nice lo-fi textures and sounds to be found in here. And it puts new perspective on the interactions of color and state and feedback as well. So really fun to play in this space, and preset 5 is a really crazy jumping off point into that realm. As we step into preset 6, we bring a new function to the forefront. The cluster slider here is at max, which is going to introduce a cloud of multi-tap repeats with lots of diffusion on them, creating like a ghostly aura that's not quite a reverb, but certainly leaning into that direction. And so here, what's going to happen is all these multi-taps are going to get just chewed on by the bias sag. So this likes sparse material, but it also likes kind of dense stuff. So we're just going to throw some things in here and see what happens. This particular patch is really responsive to how much you're pushing the texture slider. When it's set lower, it takes a lot more playing to kind of awaken the envelope controlled bias. But if you turn up texture all the way, then things become really unstable in a beautiful way. Okay, so we've been going through a couple of weird ones. Preset 7 takes us back home a little bit. I think that the hallmark of this mode is that it's really leaning into just how like analog feeling you can get by combining the saturated state and the analog voicing. Here's what it sounds like. One of my favorite things to do in this preset is you balance out the inherent high cut of the analog voicing mode by cutting some low frequencies. And we can add some feedback too, since it's kind of a subtractive EQ. And as the repeats pass through the feedback loop, they're going to kind of float away into the ether. This preset also uses 0.5x mode, and one of the nice side effects of this mode is that you get some aliasing artifacts as you extend the delay time, just like you would with an analog delay. Even though big time is digital, it's got an internal clock to capture samples of audio and replicate those BBD systems or early digital systems rather than something like a tape. So here's those more aliased kinds of textures. I'm going to bring this more to the forefront using the hi-fi voicing, but I'm going to shave off some highs using the tilt EQ to balance it out. Stepping into preset number 8, this is one of my favorites. It allows you to control the evolution of a loop purely using your picking dynamics and your choice of notes. And it really invites you to play with the color, texture, and feedback to change how a loop evolves over time. This preset also has the dry signal totally removed to kind of bring you into this like time-lagged, almost Frippertronic space, but it really is a unique one. Being able to change the pitch of loops is extremely fun. It's extremely addictive. And the scale button here gives you a way to do this in a more controlled fashion. I like to use the octave mode because it pretty much always guarantees you're going to get a good result. So I'm going to put time in the center, which you can also do by tapping in a tempo, but I like the longer buffer length here. And I'm going to put this in octave mode. We also are going to kind of destroy the loop in time by taking its elements and scattering them about. So let's hear what that sounds like. In that loop, you can kind of see how I would push texture up to kind of like punch through the loop by causing the bias circuit to sag out completely. But then you can fill those spaces back in using cluster, and it creates this fun cyclical dance. I've never looped quite like this before, and it's this mode is full of surprises and delightful interactions. Let us step into preset 9. Preset 9 brings the diffusion slider to the forefront. Diffusion was a fun artifact of development. Early on in big time development, we were thinking about doing some kind of multi-mode filter. And one of those modes was an all-pass filter. The beauty of an all-pass filter is that when you stack a bunch of them up, it kind of smears out your transient information. So in this mode, it really favors sparse playing. We set up preset 9 to kind of let you hear how a little bit of information being fed into the pedal will kind of become this expansive sound. Well, if you made it this far, I hope that this walkthrough of the big time presets demystifies the pedal somewhat. This thing is a doozy, but we're very proud of it. And I hope that this pedal gives you many years of enjoyment in wacky loops and all sorts of fun. Anyway, I've been John from EAE, and thanks to all the Chase Bliss folks for having me on this project. It's been a real blast. Cheers.